It is exactly 8:36 a.m. Central African Time, and we understand that the Muslim Lawyers Association and the South African Kashmiri Action Group have jointly lodged a renewed complaint to the NPA and SAPS to arrest, investigate, and possibly prosecute Indian Prime Minister Modi when he arrives in South Africa for the BRICS summit in August. Let's talk about that story in more detail with founder and chairperson of the South African Kashmiri Action Group, Salman Khan. Assalamu alaikum to you, dear brother. Welcome to the program. Nice speaking with you again.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to you, dear Baji Juliali, and to your beautiful listener of Islam Media.
Okay, so, and rightly so, together with the Johannesburg Muslim Lawyer, or rather the Muslim Lawyers Association, you are calling for Modi to be arrested. Talk to us more about this issue. I understand that there was a 600-page submission regarding this issue.
Yes, it is the revival, or we say the relaunching of the application which we brought against Prime Minister Modi in July 2018, and he was given a presidential immunity, and he cut down his visit for 2 weeks, from 2 weeks to the 3 days, and then provided his in Africa. And of course, after the investigation, authority in South Africa applied to the visas to do further investigation of allegation in Jammu and Kashmir, which is an Indian illegal occupied Kashmir, and their visa was denied. That this is they are against the sovereignty, and they will not allow any investigation to take place. So since then, the investigation was hampered, and of course, the Modi was never returned to South Africa. So this is the time that he's returning, and we brought the new fresh allegation, whatever happened in which we brought to be there are 200 over 200 prima facie cases, and many other allegations that we had, and we brought the case to the NP again for the arrest and investigation and possible prosecution of Prime Minister Modi in South Africa if he do decide to visit during the BRICS summit in August this year.
Okay, we're going to talk about some of those issues, some of those atrocities that Modi is guilty of. We do also know that he and his BJ party have outrightly stirred Islamophobia in India, undoubtedly in Kashmir as well, though this situation is mainly targeted at the Kashmiri issue, but we will look at that in a minute or two. I also want to share Yusha Tayyib's comments, and he's the spokesperson of the Muslim Lawyers Association. But what happens, Salman, if Modi is granted presidential immunity? What then? Regarding the attendance of the BRICS summit, we also know that the Western world is calling for Putin to be arrested if he does set foot into South Africa. And we're not quite sure at this point in time what the South African,
Then he was granted the presidential immunity. Modi still decided not to come, and we have the South African government have to send our Minister of Energy those days, Jeff Radebe, in a private jet to bring him, escort him, that he was so scared that if Muslim Lawyer Association and the South African Kashmiri Action Group brought an interdict and get him arrested. So he was brought in a private jet, and he landed, and the media was not allowed to be close by him for 300 meters. There was a fence ring that nobody can ask any question. There could not be any civilian arrest. So he was given a protection. But having saying that, this time is completely different story, because it's not only that we pushing the charges from the South African perspective, but we also doing it in a way that the ICC has brought a case of a war crime against the Putin, and we also pursuing that into the ICC and asking them the question that there is another the war crime criminal who on a loose, and he's coming to South Africa. So let us put at the same pressure as you are putting the pressure on South African government to arrest Putin. Why not through him? So that is a double whammy this time. And of course, if we get access our case registration at the ICC, and if the ICC bring another red warrant arrest, then of course it's imminent that South Africa will be looking for a neutral venue, or maybe the virtual, or maybe Modi will not even come to South Africa.
Okay, let's just go to Advocate Yusha Tayyib's remarks. Okay,
Hello?
can you hear me now?
Very faintly. I can't hear you. Hello?
Okay, I think
Hello?
we're going to have to leave
Hello?
that interview there. Unfortunately, the line is really very,
Hello?
very bad. Hopefully, we will revisit this closer to the time. It is 8:42 a.m. Let's move on with the show. We'll take an ad break and then try and get our next guest on the line.
Listen to Salam Media.
The line is